I grew up in a time when Hawaii was very different. I grew up when things that were Hawaiian weren't really valued. I grew up as a young boy listening to stories from my grandmother, who had great love for a culture, but also in her generational time, for some reason, chose not to teach that culture and the language and its traditions to her children. I grew up in an educational system that had, or seemed to perceive not to teach Hawaiian because it had no value. But at the same time, I grew up seeing that our people were extraordinarily unhealthy relative to other ethnic groups. Something was wrong. Something didn't fit right. The notion that we were second-rate in our own homeland grew as I became more educated and understand what was going on. And over time, that instincts that I had about my people being less than equal started to grow. And with that growth came anger. And with that anger came this almost sense of quiet rage, because the reason why I say it's quiet is because there was no place to debate it, no place to deal with it. And you carry that with you because something's wrong. All of that changed, though, for me personally. I was just happened to be in the right place at the right time. I also grew up knowing how important the ocean was to me, growing up and living in this very important domain. It was my refuge. It was my place of healing. But 29 years ago, 3 men had a dream, and that dream was to build a voyaging canoe. A deep-sea voyaging canoe that represented the greatness of our ancestors. It symbolized the tool that they used to explore and colonize a place called Polynesia, biggest nation on earth, 10 million square miles, bigger than Russia. And they colonized it at least 1,000 years before Columbus was born. They brought new ideas, new thoughts, new perceptions about who we were as a great nation of people. And debatably, and arguably, in their time, probably the greatest explorers on the face of the earth. It all of a sudden was this injection of change. It was this whole new perception raised hope. It raised strength in a community that was dealing with depression and apathy. I was there. I was lucky for a whole bunch of unrelated circumstances.